Peace, family. I come in the name of Born Mastermind. As many may know, recently a group of us have formulated a tribal government and nation state for Aboriginal black people right here in this part of the world so we can exercise autonomy through our righteous culture. The current name of that nation state is the Universal Nation of Original People. The flag you see behind me is the flag that represents our nation. And today I would just like to break down the flag and exactly what it represents. The star that you see on the flag represents the Sirius star system. If you understand the Sirius star system, it consists of 3 stars: Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C, also known by the Dogon tribe as Sigitolo, Potolo, and Imyatolo. Sigitolo, or Sirius A, is a masculine star. Sirius B, or Potolo, is a feminine star. It actually orbits Sirius A. And Sirius 3, Imyatolo, represents the child, or the black child. So you have man, woman, and child represented in that star system. This star system has always been very significant in our history. Our ancestors actually built whole calendar systems off of this star system. Our current local star and our solar system actually orbits the Sirius star system. In fact, they orbit each other. It takes approximately 25,000 years for them to orbit each other. Now, what our ancestors understood and what they knew, that this star, this Sirius star system, represented the rise of the original people. At some point in our orbit, we start to move away from each other. And those that know the significance of solar energy or star energy and radiation for melanin dominant people understand the importance of we are a sun-based people. So as we get closer to the sun, we become more healthy. We start activating more of our melanin. We start activating more of the body's biochemistry. And we become healthier, we become stronger, we become more intelligent. So as our solar system and the Sirius star system was moving away from each other, you started to see humanity fall. Just the same way in the winter in certain parts of the world, such as the Northeast, when the sun is further away than it is during the warmer months, what you see is the chlorophyll in the leaves. You see them begin to fall. They say that the trees and the leaves are dying because they're in a transition at that period. Well, chlorophyll is the cousin to melanin, and that's the same with the original people. As we were moving further and further away from this particular star system, as we were moving further and further away from this electromagnetic energy and radiation from this star system, you began to see our civilizations fall. You began to see the rule of people who were not melanin dominant, and you saw the fall of the original man. But we have now crossed that period within our history, as we're now orbiting back toward this star system. And as we're orbiting back toward this star system, we're now approaching more radiation in the atmosphere. You're starting to see the Earth's magnetic field weaken and the poles shifting as we've made that turn. As the Earth's magnetic field weakens, you're going to see more solar radiation, you're going to see more cosmic radiation, as well as we're getting closer and closer to this star system. So this star system has always represented the rise of the original people. Now, what makes this very significant is we have to know what time period we're in. We're in the time of self-government. We're in a time where you're going to see the rise of melanin-dominant people, and it's our righteous culture and our intelligence that should reign, that should govern ourselves, not from those who are outside of ourselves. This star is also very significant during this time of the year, which is the winter solstice. That's why I'm doing this video on the eve of the winter solstice, which is December 21st. During this time of the year, the Sirius star system sets, and our sun aligns with this star system, as well as the galactic core. What's at the core of our galaxy is what's known as a supermassive black hole, which is actually a vortex of black melanated energy that gives birth to universes. All universes are born within inside of a black hole, a supermassive black hole. So that black hole is actually a black woman because it's a melanated womb of the mind. And our entire galaxy actually orbits this supermassive black hole. So our entire galaxy is orbiting a black woman. Now, what's moving and turning this supermassive black hole is a force called space-time torsion, which is a masculine force that is the optimum of the intelligence of the supreme being black man that's moving this supermassive black hole that's actually causing the entire galaxy to orbit it. And this time of the year, there is tremendous amounts of energy. It's a time of great power. So it's a significant time for us to fast, for us to meditate, for us to cleanse, for us to set our minds, for us to come together and plan what we want to do going forward into the next year. Not just the Gregorian year, but our natural new year that comes at the spring equinox. The gold on the flag represents the electromagnetic energy and radiation, which also translates into the minerals of the planet Earth, such as gold and magnesium, cobalt, all that comes from stars itself. And the blackness in the flag represents that universal infinite blackness or cosmic melanin of supreme intelligence that the original people are the walking, talking, living, breathing personification of. One thing we're going to have to be clear is as we're approaching this star system and more radiation is entering the atmosphere, as the magnetic fields are weakening and there's more cosmic and solar radiation in the atmosphere, there's going to be the rise of cancers from those who are melanin deficient. There's going to be the rise of cancer and melanoma. There's going to be the rise of these cancers also for those whose melanin is not activated. Therefore, if your body is filled with toxin and debris and poison, you're going to experience the hardship of this radiation as it's going to represent an enemy to yourself when it's actually a friend of yourself. We as original black people who have what's called melanin, which is a super semiconductor, we have the ability to produce a photovoltaic effect, which means we have the ability to absorb this incoming radiation, this cosmic, this solar, this star radiation, absorb it and convert it into electricity. And if we understand all of our body systems run off of electricity, from our brain, from our heart, all the body's cells. So if we're consuming the proper foods that are in tune with nature, the proper plant-based foods, the proper melanin-based foods, the carbon-based foods, we will put our body back in its natural state to absorb this incoming radiation, absorb it and convert it into the electricity to be our supreme selves as the supreme beings of the planet Earth and the entire universe. So our flag, again, the star that you see on that flag represents the star system Sirius, or as our ancestors, the Dogon tribe, will call it Sigitolo, Potolo, and Imyatolo. And as our solar system, our suns come together with this particular star system, our ancestors called it the joining of the twin placentas. It's also called the golden age when it gets closest in proximity. That's when we at our supreme state. So for many thousands of years, we were actually orbiting away from this particular star system. So now we are orbiting back toward it as these two star systems are orbiting each other. So this is a great time in history. This is a magnificent time in history for us to not only get our diet back in tune with our biology and physiology, but it's also a great time to study, to come together with your people, to formulate governments, to formulate institutions, to formulate everything that we need to be a supreme people. And that's what we're here to do as the universal nation of original people. We are going to build the educational systems that are designed specifically for us and our needs. We're going to design the holistic healthcare facilities that are strictly designed based off of our biology and physiology. We're going to build the economic systems that cater directly to our needs. We're going to build all the systems that benefit us as a people that we have been denied for so long. This is not the age and the time of anger, of being mad and pumping your fist or marching or or rioting. This is not the time for that. This is not the time to blame everybody else, to blame every other race, to blame every other culture. There's no one to blame. We have the history, we have the genetics, we have the ability to tap into these genetics epigenetically by eating the proper foods, by studying the proper material, by coming together with righteous people and living a righteous life. We have the ability, again, based on universal law first and foremost, because we are a universal people, and we have the ability based on international law as original people of the entire planet, but even in this part of the world called the Americas, to formulate our own tribal governments and nation states so we can live autonomously. And that's what we have done as the universal nation of original people. But for those that are interested in adding on, joining us, becoming a part of our righteous cause and our righteous mission to self-govern and to put ourselves back in the position that we need to be in as original people, which is in full health, full intelligence, full economic strength, then you can hit me at Nation Business Builders. Pardon me, that's bmastermind at nationbusinessbuilders.com. That's bmastermind at nationbusinessbuilders.com. You can catch me on Facebook at Mastermind Born. You can catch me on Instagram at Nation Business Builders. Reach out. We are going to add on. We're going to build the structures and the systems that we need as original people in this day and time. There's no more excuses. There's no more foolery. There's no more pointing the finger. There's no more blaming anybody. There's no more hatred in our heart. We only have room for the love that we have for our own people, for our own health, and for our own well-being and development and advancement. And that's what we are about at the Universal Nation of Original People. So again, reach out, bmastermind at nationbusinessbuilders.com. That's bmastermind at nationbusinessbuilders.com. Facebook, that's Mastermind Born, and Instagram, that's Nation Business Builders. We would love to see you there. The time is now for self-government. Peace, family.